Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today my video is about my February TBR and I'm so excited because I'm going to be participating in the Jante Inferno readathon. And as soon as Jan posted this announcement video, I knew right away that I would be participating in this. I even wore my little Daredevil crew to match the vibes. So I'm going to start with my readathon books, but I did pick some outside my readathon because I do read about 15 books a month. And I'm only reading 6 books for the readathon, so I'm out of the 15, only 3 are physical and the rest are going to be on my Kindle or an audiobook, something like that. But I'm so excited to get into this, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show the graphic for the readathon and we're going to dive into this. Oh my god, why is it so hard to talk? Okay, so this readathon is based on the 9 circles of hell, and each prompt correlates to a circle, and as you complete the prompts, you've escaped that circle. So by the end of the readathon, you pretty much have escaped hell. So the first prompt was to portray your physical TBR, and I have chosen The First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. It's one of my highly anticipated releases of the year. It was also on my 25 and 2025, so it just fit into this readathon so nicely. I'm going to read it as an ebook, and I just am so excited for this book. It is like one of the, this author is one of the few exceptions I have to romance. I just think the author does such a good job of having a balance of smut, humor, good plot, and romance stories that makes you emotional and makes you jealous for the love that's in the books. I've cried at almost every single book that I've read by B.K. Borison, so I'm sure that I'm gonna absolutely love this book. Okay, for Circle 2 and 3, I've actually doubled up, so I'll be doing one book for both prompts. Circle 2 was to pick a book with a dark cover, and Circle 3 was to pick a book with violence, and I have selected The Moon Soon Rising. This is a enemies to lovers fantasy with war, so I'm very confident there's violence in it, and it's a dark and red book, so this fits the prompt so nicely. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm very excited to get into this one, and it's just stunning. For Circle 4, the prompt was to read a popular or trending book, and I've kind of cheated just a little bit, but I think you can hear me out. I have picked Scythe and Sparrow, which is a book that's coming out in February. It is the 3rd book in the Ruinous Love series. This is kind of cheating because it's not really a popular book since it's not out, but it's a book and a popular series. So I'm counting it. I remember when Butchwood and Blackbird came out, it was all over social media. And then when Leather and Lock came out, it was all over social media. Every time a book comes out in this series, it has taken over my entire social media feed. So I'm anticipating this to be a very popular read for people. So I'm counting it. That's my logic. I'm gonna go with it. So yeah. For Circles 5 and 6, I have doubled up. The prompt for Circle 5 was to read a book with a synopsis that intrigues you, and the prompt for Circle 6 was to read a book that you recently acquired. So I have selected The Theft of Sunlight. I bought this book. This is probably the last book I've bought. I bought this in December. I think this is a really interesting story. It is like a princess with a royal court and her identity's kind of been stolen and she's trying to get her identity back. It's just really, really, really cool. So I'm excited to read this. This is the 2nd book in the series. I also doubled up for Circles 7 and 8. The prompt for Circle 7 was to read a book with a food or beverage on the coverage, and the Circle 8 was to do a 5-star prediction. I picked The Princess and the Grilled Cheese, which is a book that I saw when I was in Tennessee, and it really just caught my eye, and I thought it was funny. And I really do enjoy silly little books like that. So it is a 5-star read for me, and obviously has grilled cheese on the cover. And then the last prompt was just to pick another book. You couldn't double up. So I picked Cursebound, which is a book that I am for sure reading this month. It is the 2nd book in the Feybound series, which is a really good fantasy with LGBT romance in it. So very excited. So those are my books for the readathon. And now I will go over the books that I picked out outside of the readathon. I selected one more book off my physical TBR, which was Greenlight. I got this in a subscription box. I know nothing about it. I thought it was a cool cover, so I added it. The rest of the books that are on my TBR, they're mostly because I wanted to read romance for Valentine's Day. So I will be reading the rest of the Knock 'Em Out series. I will be reading Sunlight, which is the 2nd book in the Crossroads series, I think is what it's called. And then I'll be reading the rest of the Dawn of Onyx series, which I raved about in my first video. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to finish the series. And then the last book I think I'll be reading is Rest Stop for Tiny Terror, which is a readathon that I participate, not a readathon, it's a book club. It is a book club. It's a book club that I participate with my friend Allie hosts. I will link her YouTube channel so you can stay up to date if you want to join her Tiny Terror. I will also link Jan's video if you want to participate in the Jante Inferno readathon. I am so excited. I think I should be reading a total of 12 to 15 books in the month. And I'm so sorry that I didn't give any descriptions. You wanna know why? Because I don't know what they are. I don't look at descriptions for books. I go in blind almost always. So that's why you didn't get any from me. And when I do my February wrap up, I will try to give actual descriptions of the books. But for now, I'm going based off of vibes, the cover, the next book in the series that I've already read. That's the best I can offer. So just stay tuned for later in the month when I can actually describe the books. Okay, before I end this video, I wanted to make an announcement, and I also wanted to talk about how I typically pick my TBR for each month. Typically how I pick my TBR when I'm not doing a readathon is that I pick 2 books off my physical TBR, 2 books off my 25 and 2025, which I'll share my graphic of. The little flower markings are the ones that I've already completed, and every month during my stats video I'll show like my progress in the 25 and 2025, and then after I do those ones I will look at any new releases coming out and I'll add those to my TBR, and then after that point I will prioritize any series that I want to finish, which I'm in the middle of 50 series, which is totally insane. I'd really like to get that number down at least by half by the end of the year. So other series that I have to still read are like duologies and trilogies, so I've been trying to plan like 1 or 2 series a month so I can knock them out a lot faster. I know in February I'm gonna be finishing at least 3 series, which will be fantastic. And then from that point, if I haven't hit 15 books, which usually at that point I have hit 15 books, I'll use like a random number generator or a random color generator, or I'll text one of my friends and be like, pick my book. But yes, my TBR will probably never be over 15 books. I like to just have 15 books as a good number. It's a nice even number because if there's 30 days in the month, that means if I finish a book every 2 days, I'll hit 15. So that's how I typically pick my books. Sometimes it'll be different. Like in April, I am going to be doing a reread of Shatter Me. So expect that to be happening. I'm going to be doing reading vlogs. I'm going to be doing like annotate with me videos. All of April is going to be Shatter Me filled because it's Aaron Warner's birthday. It's also when the next book is coming out. There's a spin-off of Shatter Me that's coming out called Watch Me. I think it's out like April 13th, April 15th. I don't remember the exact date, but I'm so excited for it. So the entire month for me is just going to be Shatter Me based. If you want to like follow along, I can make buddy reads a book. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but it's going to be so much fun. My actual announcement is that I'm going to be hosting my first ever Pride readathon. I'm announcing it a little bit early just in case you stumble across this video and you're like, oh, I might want to check back on that. You'll know to check back on that and when to check back on this. I'm going to be announcing all the official details in April. I'm currently in the middle of designing it, but I wanted to get the info out to get a little bit of interest back, see who might want to participate, if it's a cool idea, if you hate the idea. But it's going to be a bingo board based readathon. There'll be 3 bingo boards, so there's like levels of participation, and it's just going to be so much fun. And it's a great way to read more Pride books, whether that be with Pride romances or like LGBT romances or books written by LGBT authors, especially trans authors or like POC authors. It's going to be a great way to just like diversify your reads, and we'll be doing it May and June, so it's a 2-month-long readathon to give everybody time to read, obviously. So those are the things that I wanted to cover before I ended the video. Thank you so much for watching if you've stuck it out to this point. I hope you have a really amazing week, and I'm going to try to be posting videos every Sunday. So I'll see you next Sunday, and I hope until then you have a moo-tastic time.